Welcome to today's tier list on formations. I think this is going to be pretty cool. I'm going to go through all the formations, rank them, tier list up. I'm going to point out what makes a formation good or bad, why your 4-2-3-1s are meta, and why your, say, 3-4-1-2s, etc. aren't really used, what exactly weaknesses and strengths formations have. And yeah, I think it'd be a pretty informative video, pretty interesting. Can we get 80 likes on today's tier list? Let's do it. So let's get into it. Are you fed up of coming against God Squad game in and game out?
What?
If so, make sure to head over to u7buy.com using the link in the description below. And don't forget to use code RAN at checkout for an extra little discount. Let's just get into formations. We're starting off with the 4-5-1. And now if we're talking chemistry formations, Esther, everybody loves this, but playing wise, we're gonna go C-Team. Now the issue with this is there's just no real set way to attack in this, and defensively it's atrocious as well. Attacking wise, you can kind of play the two wide cams like left and right forward almost. Counter with that and maybe have the wide mids usable. Nobody just uses this formation at all. But then defensively, you just have that one center mid and you just get destroyed. Not good. 4-1-4-1. Not a bad formation. I'm going to put it in beta. Really good defensively. If you want to hold a lead, you can put everybody come back on defense pretty much. Got solid middle, but also out wide you have the fullbacks and the left and right mids. Actually very solid defensively. Of course, it's going to stay in beta because going forward, nothing's happening, bro. You ain't scoring with this. It's just not going to work, unfortunately. Pretty dead going forward. No cam. Only one striker. Anytime you have one cam or 0 cams and 1 striker, you know it's gonna be rough to score. And the first S tier formation, the 4-2-3-1. What do I have to say about this? You got your 3 cams, you got your striker, you got your 2 CDMs, you got your fullback. It's just perfect. It's got everything to offer. Arguably the most popular formation in Ultimate Team, I would say, and for good reason. You can do whatever you want with it. Just works perfectly offensively, really solid defensively. It's a win-win. Next, we got the 4-2-3-1 second variation. I'm gonna check this in 8. Still a good formation, but obviously left and right mids being deeper and wider means it's harder to create opportunities down the middle. All you can really do is wing bash, sort of, which kind of a shame. And it is a lot of effort to get up the pitch because they are so deep. Opposite of that means you got some extra defense. Once again, a great formation to hold out leads. If you watch my tactics video on the channel, you know for this is the formation I go when I'm winning the game. Solid defensively, solid for time wasting. Would definitely recommend. 4-5-1 second variation is gonna go in here beside the 4-5-1. Just a bit dead. It's just a bit dead. It's slightly worse than a 4-1-4-1 because at least the 4-1-4-1 has a CDM and it's more solid defensively. This three midfielders in the middle don't know really what they're doing. You got no attack, and defense isn't even that good. Except bodies really of people doing nothing. Tragic formation. Next, you got the 4-1-4-1 second variation. This, you know what? I'm gonna put this A tier as well. A tier as well. Very similar to the 4-2-3-1, obviously, and the 4-2-3-1 second variation, even more similarly too. It's practically the same, except the CDMs and center mids, the cams center forward. Ultimately, very, very similar. It's not optimal really for offense or defense. If you want defense, this is going to be better. 4-2-3-1 second variation. If you want more offense, you should just go for the now 4-2-3-1. So it kind of gets lost in the middle. But if you had to pick it, in a draft or something, this is actually where this tier list is actually going to be really effective. If you actually play draft and you just have this tier list, big formations, actually would be pretty handy. But yeah, pretty solid. So same with the 4-1-4-1. Basically the exact same. So next we got the 4-4-2 second variation. This is definitely slotting into the old S tier as well. Great formation. You got your 2 strikers, you got the width, and in the midfield you got the CDMs. So that's personal preference. CDMs do definitely offer you that extra bit of defense. It's kind of harder to attack with it. So basically, if you're using this, you need to either be really good at driven passes to go from CDMs to strikers, or you want to always hit your left and right mids, start attacks out wide, then work your way inside to your strikers. And with that, we have another S tier with 4-4-2. Obviously, this time you have the center mid, so they're up a little bit forward. It's easier to play those passes to your strikers for sure. Then obviously defensively, you can get a little caught out a little bit, depending on your center mids, work rates, and your instructions. May leave you a little vulnerable defensively. And next we got another S tier, the formation I'm using day in, day out nowadays, at the 4-1-2-1-2 now. Big fan. Big fan. You could argue it's an A tier formation, not an S tier. For me, what makes it S tier is the enjoyment. It's actually fast. You can play fast-paced attacks, direct football, just get some more goals. Also with the drift wide feature on the center mids, you can add some width to the offense whilst on defense still being compact enough. Obviously still vulnerable down those wings, however. Next we got the 4-1-2-1-2. I'm gonna put this A tier because if you lower your defensive width a lot, your center mids will come in and cover a little bit in the middle. However, you are still a bit more vulnerable, but attacking wise, this formation is a joke. It's ridiculous. It's so effective depending on how you set it up. It's one of the easiest formations to score with, I would say, because obviously you've got your tree up top. You got 2 strikers cam, classic. Okay, you got the overlapping left and right mid, very nice as well. 3-5-2-S, but you also have fullbacks as well. You can use them if you need to for extra passing options as well. Very nice going forward. Obviously, like I said, defensively kind of lacking a lot. You got the 1 CDM, then nothing else going on. You can do what I did last year. I had my cam come back on defense, and the left and right mid come back on defense might help you out a little bit. Next, we got the channel favorite, the 4-2-2. What can I say? Beautiful formation. Obviously, similar to the 4-4-2 second variation. However, a little better in my opinion because you got the cams that push up further and then more narrow. Just creates a kind of better little flow in the offense, whether it's counterattacking or build-up play. Got the 4-3-1-2, which I'm actually going to put A tier. I'm going to put A tier. I think the 4-1-2-1-2 now this year is slightly better. I think the CDM is vital. I think you do miss out without using them. The CDM being a center mid like it is in 4-3-1-2 doesn't provide that much extra in offense, in my opinion. You lose a lot defensively without having that CDM. So for me, 4-1-2-1-2, a little bit better. 4-1-3-2 is like a way kind of formation. I'll put it B tier because you can get it to work if you have the center mid on like get forward, and then you can fake a 4-1-2-1-2. But I mean, it's just a worse 4-1-2-1-2, so it's gotta go B tier. It's okay if you have the center mid on get forward, but not the biggest fan of the formation. Next, we got the 4-3-3 false 9. Now on old gen, I love this formation. I would arguably put it S tier, but probably A tier. However, on next gen, it's B tier. It's very hard to attack with this formation. I feel like it just gets a little bit too crowded for me personally. You might find it a little bit easier, but for me, just too difficult. Next to 4-3-3-4. This is actually the channel favorite this year. What a formation. I think that video is already over 60k views. Crazy. Could be on target to be my most viewed video on the channel. So I checked and it's 5k views off being the most viewed video on my channel. It's got 60. My highest ever is 65k. Phenomenal formation. I like it a bit more this year because teams naturally are more defensive this year. This formation gives you a chance to be more aggressive. Just has a little bit more to it. Counterattacks a little bit better because your players don't drop as deep, because like a left wing and a right wing is a more attacking position than a wide left and right cam that you get in, say, a 4-2-3-1. Obviously, also the center mids are not CDM, so they push up a little higher as well. Next, you got the 4-3-3-3. Once again, it's just a really average formation. Defensively, it's solid enough because you got center mid and 2 CDMs, but attacking wise, there's just this huge gap between the 3 center mids and the 3 attackers, and it's kind of hard to play off that. You can driven pass maybe into an attacker, but then you can only really pass it between the 3 attackers, and it's very predictable. It's very easy to defend because you can't really involve the midfielders much in the play because there's no like a link. There needs to be like a cam or something to link that up. Same with the 4-3-3-2 in my opinion. What you can do to kind of get around this is have like one of your center mids on get forward, kind of get them fake acting as a cam, but it's not ideal. And then the 4-3 flat, essentially the same argument once again. Now a 4-3-2-1. I personally think this formation is an absolute scam, but I'm gonna put it A tier because of how many people like it. Now for me, not a fan. I don't even want to talk about this formation. I can't use it for the life of me, but I know a lot of people like it, and so for that reason, I'm gonna put it A tier, but for me, it's just not the one. 4-2-4, I'm gonna put B tier. Great for this sort of, you know, the game's nearly up, need constant pressure, fast build up forward runs. Works really effectively. As an overall formation though, you know, if you're actually starting the game with this, it's gonna be B tier because actually you're just getting nothing. 5-4-1. I'm gonna put it in C tier to be honest. An extremely dead formation. Obviously solid defensively, but it's just not gonna do anything offensively for you whatsoever. 5-2-1-2. Putting in A tier. Big fan of this. Big fan of this. I'm liking it right now, but ultimately defensively in midfield. It really lacks. You got 2 center mids, and it's a little weak there. It's quite easy for people to play the ball around the edge of your box if they're good enough, because you only have those 2 center mids, and you obviously have your Cam on stay forward for the counter attack, so you can't even have him drop back and help. But like I said, the counter attack, 2 strikers Cam, very effective as always, and you got the wing backs providing the width that isn't offered in, say, the 4-1-2-1-2 now if you don't have balanced fullbacks. It's got 5-3-2, which we'll put there as well. Obviously adds the midfield component that the 5-2-1-2 lacks, but you lose out on the counter attack, so is it worth it? Not in my opinion. I prefer the 5-2-1-2 this year. And she got the 5-2-2-1, which I haven't actually used this year, but I would say it's probably a B-tier formation. You just have a lot of width in it. You have nothing in the midfield. It's kind of a meh setup personally, but I can see it being decent, I suppose, if you mastered going down the line. Maybe would have a chance. Next, you got the 3-1-4-2. This is going to be the first D-tier formation. This, yeah, it's just tragic. Like, 3-1-4-2. Like, what are we doing here? So I can't defend and I can't attack. Tragic. Just tragic. 3-4-1-2 will actually put as a B2 formation, because for comebacks this is sick. A striker and a cam, and you get the left and right mid. Very, very nice. Getting back into the game. Next you got 3-5-2. You know what? I'll sneak it into A tier. I'll sneak it in. It is quite effective, to be fair. It is good. You got the CDMs, give that extra defense. Obviously, you got that attacking triangle with 2 strikers on the cam. And you got left and right mid, which, if chosen correctly, can be very effective. I'm pretty sure Harry Heskett just released a tactics video for that. He is really good with this formation this year. 3-4-2-1. I personally don't rate this formation as good as the 3-4-1-2. I feel like it doesn't have that central option at all, with a lack of a cam. You know, it's got left forward, striker, left mid, right mid. It's all like, it's kind of like a triangle without one line. I could definitely have done better than that. But yeah, it makes it very easy to defend in my opinion, because you have no inside ball to really pass to, so it just has to go along those like lines, which is just easy to intercept. In my opinion anyways, 3-4-3 is practically the same information, so it goes in there as well. But anyways guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video and we hit 80 likes for another tier list. Hopefully we can. I'd appreciate that. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.